Mr. Bush came to New Orleans determined to avoid the growing debate over how to rebuild this storm-ravaged city. During a meeting with the mayor and small business leaders, the president was upbeat, insisting New Orleans has made dramatic progress.
It may be hard for you to see, but from when I first came here to today, New Orleans is reminding me of the city I used to come to visit.
But the president's tour of the city today was limited, his motorcade passing through areas largely spared by Katrina. And Mr. Bush's peppy invitation to tourists.
It's a heck of a place to bring your family. It's a great place to find some of the greatest food in the world and some wonderful fun.
Seemed rosier than reality in a city still unable to deliver basic services and whose airport is running at less than half its capacity. Throughout the city, reaction is still raw to yesterday's proposal that could limit how much of the city would be rebuilt.
That's not happening.
Areas shaded in yellow on this map are the hardest hit by Katrina, now subject to a building moratorium. Neighborhoods in green could become parks or other open space. Many have begun to wonder whether the costly reality of recovery will match the president's lofty promises 4 months ago.
There is no way to imagine America without New Orleans, and this great city will rise again.
Touring coastal Mississippi later in the day, Mr. Bush highlighted the federal government's commitment to the region, $85 billion in aid. The president urged those in areas flattened by the storm to persevere.
There's going to be a building boom down here. There just is. It's going to be an exciting time for people.
But throughout the storm zone, the big question is, will residents return home? Here in hard-hit Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, whole neighborhoods are still littered with debris. And 30% of the people in this small town of 8,200 are still gone. 4 months after Katrina, with recovery still a long way off. David Gregory, NBC News, Bay St. Louis, Mississippi.
For many of the people trying to rebuild their homes and their lives in the city of New Orleans, the view is just not as upbeat as the president's was today. NBC's Martin Savage joins us from our New Orleans bureau tonight with more. Martin, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. A lot of people in New Orleans didn't even know the president was here. They were too focused on the rebuilding plan, either the city's or their own.
The line for building permits stretched through City Hall today.
48, 49.
Even as New Orleans' proposed recovery plan seeks to temporarily ban rebuilding in heavily flooded areas.
Now we're ready to print your permit.
It's a clear indication most folks don't put much stock in the ban or the plan.
I should have the right to come back in my home, rebuild it, remodel it, or do whatever.
Under the proposal, Margaret Tolliver, whose home flooded to the roof, should wait until her Gentilly neighborhood counts up who's coming back. She's already done that.
And I spoke to the Daniels.
Tolliver thinks the city wants her neighborhood to fail. The light pouring from wealthier communities as she sits in the dark tells her so.
Wouldn't that be an encouragement to give me at least street lights if you wanted me to come back?
Like many in New Orleans' lower-income neighborhoods, she believes the city is simply stalling till it uses its eminent domain powers.
I see it as plainly taking poor people property.
Roland Adams is just ignoring the plan.
There's no real concrete ideas.
He's already fixing up his Lakeview home, a neighborhood where the people earn more and the streetlights shine. The neighborhood's wealth makes him certain it's not wasted work.
People are going to, come in and spend more money than they did before. I think we're going to end up really a more exclusive area than it was prior to the storm.
One plan, two neighborhoods. Roland Adams is already reclaiming his part of the American dream. Margaret Tolliver fears she's going to lose hers.
I did everything America had asked me to do. I've raised 3 children independently, without federal assistance. I paid for a home.
In front of her home, Tolliver's placed a guardian angel and thinks she's going to need it.
There is a lot of the city's plan yet to be revealed, 6 more parts to be exact. Tuesday, the city will show what it plans to do for culture and